Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with
Tristan Walter.
And today we are doing Dragon Ball Z Movie 13, The Wrath of the Dragon. Or, as it is also called in Japan, really long title.
Yeah, that's fucking...
Seriously, wait, well, actually, this one isn't so bad, but this one is Dragon Fist Explosion. If Goku can't do it, who will? It's like, well, I don't know, but I mean, Goku's on the cover doing it, so... It is not even, what's great is, it isn't even like they edited it out, like, or they edited something differently in the American release, because sometimes they've been known to do that a bit here and there, like Bio Broly was edited a bit, where in the Japanese version, I think we talked about this during Bio Broly, Broly was in, like, the, one of the pods in the background, so it was a bit more subtle, where in America they were like, nope, just put him in that form right in front, right? So, Yes, pretty much. No edit whatsoever in the cover. You know, and of course, I think even, the Broly movie also had a different cover, you know, stuff like that. So you can kind of think, oh, well, America's just trying to be in your face. No, Japan had the same exact cover. So you kind of just sit there and just like, yeah. I mean, I will admit, the American cover is a bit closer. Like, you know, they did zoom in a bit. So, Hirudegarn is a bit more hidden in this one, which is a bit nice. But, yeah, he's a bit more out there, like right in your face in the Japanese one, which is strange because usually Japan is so subtle with their covers, actually. Yeah. But they're not subtle with the titles, you know? Where I wouldn't be surprised if this movie was titled, you know, it's like Dragon Ball Z, you know, the character who is split into two. He's a villain. Also, the red one's bad. We're fighting them. Goku wins. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the title. So I'm really excited that it was just kind of toned down a bit, where it's just, hey, let's just... But this is the last Dragon Ball Z movie. Never been a new one. No new one has ever come out, ever. Unless you look at our Battle of Gods podcast, in which you know that, yes, the new one came out about a year or so ago. Yeah.
But Matt, what about the new one that just came? That doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. No, it's very good, actually, so I'm happy it exists. It's funny. In theory, there are Dragon Ball movies, other than Battle of Gods. There are Dragon Ball movies that came after this. But this is the last official Dragon Ball Z film, right? Until Battle of Gods. And of course, you also look at the fact that there were specials, which we will also do, not sure when exactly, but we will be doing specials as well. You know, that they're specials, but they don't count as actual feature films. So for many people, this was it. You know, so Toei, I believe, really put a lot of work into this because they knew this was the end.
Yeah.
You know, you were saying that yourself, that you thought that it felt like it was very fleshed out as a movie.
Yeah. Like, it didn't feel like the traditional DBZ, like, oh, we're having a great time. Oh, hey, look, the villain. Huh, wonder why he's here. Oh, God, now he's destroying the planet. Well, better kill him.
Yeah, they gave a lot of time and explanation to, you know, everything that was going on, which was really nice because you really started to feel for these characters.
Exactly. Like, holy shit. I love Tapion. I mean, just for his design alone, I think he just looks incredibly badass. But when you actually, you know, hear his tale, it's like, oh my God, I can feel for this character. And he just appeared in this movie. Wait a minute.
I know. I agree completely. There was so much good in his character. And I also love the visuals and the way the movie was presented because obviously the movie is just your standard, something has been sealed away via magic, it's breaking out. That is so, that's so, you know, been done. I know this is an older movie, but still, I think even by the time it was done, it had been done, you know, obviously. But they still ended up using the visuals that really made it seem a lot more tech-based, you know, technological, rather than just pure magic, to me. Yeah. Like a lot of, like, when you look at stuff like Hirudegarn, or Hildegarn, whichever one you want to refer to him as, breaking out of the where he was sealed in, it looks like a Doctor Who type thing, where he's breaking through universes, you know?
Yeah, it looks like he's almost in a different dimension, yeah.
Exactly. So, which in theory you are when you're sealed away, but still like you, but no, because in theory, yeah, you're in a different, you're in a different dimension. But like you're all, when magic is involved, right? It's always referred to as another realm. Like you're in this, in the dark realm, and you always use these certain kind of words, and it makes you think like, oh, it's like some magical dark, kind of like a Yami type thing when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh and you look at the Yami card, you're like, oh, that's no, it looks, it made it look very much like we were using things like dimensions and science and all that stuff, and it was very interesting because it's a nice little visual contrast, especially when you have that part in the movie where Bulma's trying to analyze the damn thing.
Yeah, Bulma's like, hey, let me recreate a technological version of this. That way you can sleep in it. It's like,
yeah,
thank you. I haven't slept in thousands of years.
I have to be honest, too. I got a little upset because I don't know how their universe is doing with this, so I can't really say anything. But how about curing cancer, bitch?
Oh,
and that's not talking to her. That's talking to the, because I don't want to judge just her. I don't want to use that word on her. That's the entire family. So put ES at the end, parentheses ES. Why don't you just solve all the world's problems? And hey, maybe they have solved all the world's problems. We haven't really heard of anything, like that. Although I have to admit, though, heart disease, huh? You know what I mean? Like, so I've been able to create this device that allows you to sleep into it without having an evil monster pop out of you. Goku goes, and you couldn't cure my heart disease? That was a problem?
Well, to be fair, it probably snuck up on them unexpectedly and very quickly. I do agree with you. I get the feeling they probably had the funds and the people and the staff that they probably
really tried.
could have done it. If they had known,
here's the thing.
Sick.
I'll say this much. Then I don't mean just Goku. Like, I'm not saying why did you cure Goku's heart disease?
I know what you mean though.
There's a bunch of Bulma. We need to cure this heart disease because Goku has it. What about everyone else who has it in the world? Well, they're not Goku, are they, huh? Motherfucker. Thanks, Bulma.
Well, it's funny because I feel like Goku was probably the start of that because Trunks has the cure in his time, so they probably saw Goku die and they're like, we should probably get a move on this one.
Just, Krillin's like, my heart kind of hurts. Well, maybe we can stop for a bit. Guys, God damn. Seriously, it's kind of hurts, guys. Now I'm sounding like Oolong. That's a problem. That's why Krillin's heart hurts, because bacon.
Oh, wait, that's an energy beam going through my chest. That's why that hurts.
Yeah, right. It's like, wait a minute, actually, no, it's great. He's like, guys, my heart hurts. I think it's going to be good, that energy beam just got rid of my heart. Awesome. Doesn't hurt anymore.
Oh, God.
Speaking of Krillin, did not do much in this movie.
Nope.
I'm a little sad about that.
Yeah.
He did enough. He was fun. I loved him in the Monsters. That was great, actually.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. Like, their two screen caps, like we've said this before, how Krillin and Master Roshi always get, put into the comic relief spots.
Right.
Well, Krillin got his 2 minutes, and Roshi got his 2 minutes.
Basically. But, yeah, I also, by the way, if you want to call and talk about this movie with us, because why would you not want to? The number is 718-664-9468. Again, the number, 718-664-9468. And if you're listening to us live, right, which, why not, right? If you're listening to us live, and for some reason your internet isn't working, maybe someone needs to use your internet, something like that, and, your computer, which involves your internet, and you cannot listen to us anymore. So you're sitting there going, damn it, I have to stop listening to those guys. How could I go on with my life? Don't worry, all right? If you call the number, 718-664-9468, if you don't press 1, when they tell you to press 1, you can actually sit in and listen in, and we will not get a notification. So we will see your number there, but we will know that you're there just to listen in, right? And if you do want to join the conversation at one point or another, press 1. We'll bring you in, and then we can easily put you right back out and still leave you on the board to listen in. So again, 718-664-9468. And talking about the actual movie, getting back to it.
Can you sing? Can you do the number to Tapion's melody? I think that would be a little more fitting.
I'm going to do that whenever. I will now dub that. That will be on. We will create a YouTube channel just for that purpose, and that's where we're going with this. So jumping, let's go, because we always talk about the movies in order, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning of the movie, right, I love how they made the criminals look, like just their look, just a complete mix of badass from different types of badass. Right?
Yeah.
Where it's just, oh yeah, I'm the guy wearing the suit who always looks badass because I'm wearing the suit.
Yeah.
I'm badass because, like I look like I can take someone down. I'm a crook. Yeah, well, I'm an ex-military.
Yeah.
Like, I just walk, I am militia. It was just like, damn. But it was also really funny in the sense that, like, if you don't really think about it this way, but like when you actually kind of sit there, I just love how their outfits are just like, yeah, no one will be able to identify us.
Yeah,
we fit in so well with society. Like I looked at them in the car and I was like, these are just three ordinary gentlemen. There's nothing off about any of them. They all seem to just kind of meld in well. If they all just split up and went into a crowd, you wouldn't tell.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see them in the, people terrified running cycle with, the blue bears and the guy in the green shirt and the guy in the red shirt and the guy in the yellow shirt and the guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah, no, they would be just fine. But so I have a question for you. I think we've talked about this before, but I want to ask your opinion. What do you think about Great Sandman 1 and 2? Since this is our last time seeing them, sadly, we have not seen them since this movie. What's your opinion on the both of them?
Well, probably since I've been friends with you and hearing you talk about all the references that they, entail,
right.
my opinion of them has probably gotten better.
That's nice.
I know when I was a bit younger, I honestly couldn't stand it, and I was just like, why the fuck is this even a thing? And now I'm just like, yeah, this is funny, this is cool. I mean, I don't know, maybe Gohan's just, into that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, all jokes aside, he's definitely into superheroes. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, I'll say this much, by the way. If anyone doesn't know out there, there's a show called Kamen Rider. Kamen meaning masked, having a mask. And Kamen Rider is a show in Japan that's been going on since the 70s. Only stop was in the 90s because the show kind of got canceled, a bit like Doctor Who-ish, but, in the year 2000, the show came back and has been on ever since, right? Really good show. It came to America as Masked Rider in the in the 90s, and then recently as Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Not saying those are good shows, but they were there. They were adapted, kind of like Power Rangers is adapted from the show Super Sentai, which we've also seen a lot of Super Sentai references in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Ginyu Force, Cooler's Armored Squadron, Squadron meaning Sentai, literally the exact translation. Anyway, so you look at this movie and all the references with the Great Sandman, and he's and a lot of his design is really based off of the original Kamen Rider from the 1970s. And then you get his girlfriend in on this, and what's interesting is Videl is a scrapper. She is a hard fighter. I mean, think about it. Her father was a professional wrestler from the looks of it, right? So, or at least something along those lines.
Or at least, like mixed martial arts kind of thing.
Yeah, mixed martial arts. But it's funny because it's mixed martial arts, but for, his look and when it's presented to me in English, like with the dub and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like Hulk Hogan.
Professional wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, it came off as very, especially having the belt like that, came off as very Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Right. But, so anyway, the point is that, having her dad have that background, it's really interesting, too, because I think I mentioned this to you before on the air. But again, in case of any new listeners, the second Kamen Rider who appeared in the show, right, in the first series, was a brute. He was a grappler. He was tough. And, he had a very different fighting style compared to the original Kamen Rider. So it's kind of interesting as a parallel, where it's just, where we made Kamen Rider 1 in Gohan, we're making Kamen Rider 2 Videl.
Yeah.
And, and she comes out with a more girly outfit, but still, she can kick just as much ass as Gohan can. Hell, she can even fly now, You know?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how they've used the two to kind of dance around, and it's really funny. But of course, everyone in the universe just doesn't get it. So it's like, isn't that kind of long? Like,
yeah.
Isn't that a long monologue, dude? Wearing Gohan's head.
Yeah. Even Vidal goes to him and she's like, see, even the bad guys think it's long.
Exactly. Wearing Gohan's head, he just loves superheroes to the point where he's just like, nope, this is cool.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting.
I guess you could think of it as that's just how he grew up. Like, I mean,
that's what's interesting.
Dad.
That's how he grew up because of his dad, right? And another thing, the fact that Gohan, right? Let's say he grew up in the 80s. Kamen Rider was around in the 80s. Like, I'm not saying they had TV, but in theory they could have done something. So Kamen Rider is around in the 80s. And, of course, Kamen Rider is huge in Japan, right?
Yeah.
In the 90s, it was canceled. Goten and Trunks are 90s kids.
Oh, my God.
So they're looking at him like, I don't get this shit. And he's just like, come on, I'm the great Saiyaman. I don't really So to us, we take it as like so to us, right, we take it as, oh, that's funny because, Gohan's being so outlandish and the kids are just like, I'm not really into this, dude. But you're thinking, when you really think about it, like, well, why wouldn't the kids be into it? If you look at the time, the show was, there were Kamen Rider films out, but they were not in any way like think about having a yearly show out, Like, that's, it's a difference between, like, a yearly show between, like, oh, here's a Kamen Rider movie every, like, couple years.
Right.
So, so the kids are just like, I don't really understand what he's doing here. There was Sentai, sure, but, like, in terms of, like, the one hero dressed up with the green and everything, just, like, doing these weird, wacky poses, kids are just like, Goten probably loved it, though. But Trunks is like, I don't know. Like, I play with toys, man. I don't really watch TV. I don't know. I don't go out much. But
I have everything I want here. Why would I go anywhere else?
Basically, yeah. But by the way, I know we had you seem taken aback by this on the phone, but I have to say this. I feel like when Gohan was questioning Hoi, if you don't know who Hoi is, it's actually understandable because when they use his name, I swear, Tapion makes it sound like he's saying Hoyt, but no, Hoi is the little red guy that we all know and hate. So when Gohan was questioning Hoi about the music box, well, why is Tapion in the music box if he's a hero? I'm sorry, but I feel like Goku would not have done that, so I'm really kind of happy that Gohan did because it feels like he's kind of getting a bit smarter than his dad because of the fact that he's had, education, where I feel like Goku, sorry to say this, but I feel like Goku would have been like, like Hoi's just like, oh, yes, in this music box is awesome, let's open it up. No, I didn't tell you what's in the music box yet. Well, it's like a fighter or something, right? Dude, you're red. Yes, it's a fighter, but he's actually a hero. Awesome, open it up. Stop it. I'm explaining.
Oh, God.
So it's really interesting where Gohan's just, he ended up trying to do it anyway, because he is his father's son. But at first, there was this idea, I feel, of just, let me kind of ask him, what the hell is going on here? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact of Vidal in the background just going like, okay, let's fucking go. I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah, like she's sitting there just like, it's like, does she have a problem with me or something? I told you to kill yourself. What do you think?
I guess it's probably the influence of her dad.
Yeah,
it's growing up with her dad, like, there's a magical hero trapped in a box. She's like, yeah, this is bullshit. Let's get going.
Vidal, we can fly now.
Okay,
like, maybe
Vidal?
I'll listen. Right?
You've seen Shenron before, right? Yeah.
That's magic shit, babe.
That's magic shit.
To the most magical degree. Like, Shenron farts rainbows. Let's all sit down and listen to the red guy.
She's just like, all right, fine, open the fucking box.
Yeah, it was really funny, though, because and what's also funny is you forget how many different kinds of creatures they have on Earth, because later on Goku was just like, wait a minute, you're not from Earth? And to us, we're like, of course, he's red. And then we remember that there's wolf people. And we're like, oh, that's right. So, hell, I remember in Dragon Ball, going all the way back, when Master Roshi destroyed the moon.
Yeah.
There were people who they were rational in transforming into wolf, a wolf or into a man. But there was a wolf man who was just like, wait a minute though, the moon was out. I'm a wolf right now. Am I going to be trapped this way forever? And it was really, really funny because it's just, it reminds you, there's a lot of different people on Earth. Hell, there's dinosaurs. Yep. Somehow those slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
But
with global warming and all the pollution, I think just some of the other species just kind of,
What's really funny though is you're just like, for you you're like, yep, that's why. They don't have pollution there, I guess. They're just, they're perfect there, I guess. It's like, Tristan, they get blown up every other week. It's as if that's the trade-off, where it's like, hey, do you want a world where there's less pollution and, and everything is cured and honestly you can live a nice, healthy, happy life? You know what? I would like that. Well, great. Every other week someone from an alien world is going to come destroy you. Well, I'll take the pollution.
The ever-living shit out of your planet.
Yeah, I'll take the pollution. I'd rather. I think that life is just frightening.
Do you want slow and painful or quick and blurry?
It's just I'll take slow and painful. I'll take slow and painful because guess what? It's never quick and blurry with them. Everyone always comes back.
Oh God.
In that way, it's more slow and painful in theory.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh man, but Tristan, do you know what we need?
What?
We need balls.
I was waiting for you to bring that one up.
Balls.
I knew you were going to too.
Dragon
If
balls.
you didn't, I would have.
No, it was really upsetting, if only because I understood why they did it because of mouth flaps, but in the Japanese version, it was actually a lot more like, what we need is, and then ... And then when he started, the shot was out, they panned out, and it was just him standing there, that's when he said, we need the Dragon Balls. But at first, he just said, what we need is, and it's like, or you could just, I don't know, I would have to study the scene a lot more, but from what I saw, I feel like I know could have worked. Like, I know,
Yeah.
And then, what, Goku? The Dragon Balls. But for here, it was just like, we need balls. Balls.
Yeah.
It's as if they just said, the Internet's kind of becoming a thing now. It's getting a bit better. Let's give them something.
I mean, even Krillin does it. After he's like, I got the first ball.
No, well, that was fine because he said he got the first star ball.
Yeah.
That wasn't an issue. I think the issue is when you're just saying, again, just that exact sentence. What do we need? Balls.
Balls.
We need balls.
Go on. Just look at him. Dad. Little clarification on that.
Yeah. Can we just get? No, Gohan. I think you all understand what I'm saying. All right, guys. I think we should go.
No, Goku just looks at him. He's like, "No, I mean probably you most, Gohan. I mean, I think we need to have a talk." It's just like, Dad, are you trying to say something about my lifestyle?
Would be. How great would it be where it's just where Goku's just like, let's explain the birds and the bees to you, son. Oh God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. So one day, a woman's going to come up to you, and she's going to say, marry me or else. And then you're going to do it. And then after that,
Fidel just kind of looks at him.
And you're not really going to want to at first. But, I mean, it's going to happen. And then, and then you'll realize, you know what? She's not that bad because you're a Super Saiyan, and she's a woman. An Earth woman. What can she really do to you?
Except threaten to take your dinner away.
Which, by the way, Gohan, if that ever happens, do everything in your power
to get dinner back on the table.
Yes. Oh. But it's just, how great would that be? Where it's just and he's trying to explain, and he's like, okay, and then eventually, you're going to be laying there,
Oh, God.
And then she's going to talk to you about something that you're going to think is a food.
He's just like, Dad, fucking stop! Please, God, stop! Like
I know, I'm sorry, Gohan.
Background.
I know you wanted it to be a food, too.
Shenron's in the background. He's just like, Shenron, my wish is make my father stop!
That is beyond my power. But what's sad is I want to say that was a complete going in the opposite direction and we veered off. But balls! Also, for clarification, why I mentioned the idea of, the internet's becoming a bigger thing. This was dubbed in English, like, America, 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. Japan it came out July 15th, 1995.
God damn it.
Yep, I know. Also, something that I can't believe I didn't mention in the beginning of the show, we're doing the 13th movie. I mentioned that, obviously. Yeah. Did you know that we're doing the 13th movie on September 13th?
Wow.
We planned this, except that we didn't.
No,
Speaking of...
God. No, if we actually did the movies like the original release date.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
All right, guys, next is in a couple... Huh.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're having a technical difficulty. I think Matt's broken up a little bit. But, I don't know if he's actually talking on your end or whether it's just me. But anyway, as Matt was talking about, balls! I feel like Shenron would just, come out and be like, yeah, okay, who's juggling my balls this time? What's your wish? Nope, still nothing. Okay, then. All right. Well, as I was saying before about Tapion, I really liked his character design. As in, it's basically, if anyone has ever played, I believe the game is Chrono Trigger, Akira Toriyama actually worked on the artwork for this game. And I feel like Tapion is almost in reference to that, or just in reference to Akira Toriyama's other character designs that he's done. He looks, maybe not splitting image, but very close to the actual main character in Chrono Trigger. The hairstyle, the clothing, very I guess robe-like, almost monk-like. Tapion's got the scarf and the orange vest and boots. And it's interesting to look at the sword because it's funny. When I watched this movie as a kid, I felt like, this is basically a Japanese anime, so he would have a katana, right? But it's interesting to show that he actually has more of a European-styled sword, a, double-bladed sword. So it's interesting. I felt it was, out of place as a kid, but if you look at a lot of, fantasy-style games, there are a lot more, sometimes European-style swords in those type of games. Or they have a range of, different weapons that you'll actually see. But anyway, the ocarina, too. I thought that was a nice touch to actually have on Tapion's person. I just thought it was a cool addition to his, costume and character. Seem to be having continual difficulties. I'm sure Matt is trying his best to get back to us, or trying to get me back to you. So, yes, okay. Sorry about that. Let me think. Oh, right. What I had said earlier about this movie feeling, I don't know if I actually said it on air, but I know I had said to Matt earlier this movie feels like it's a bit more fleshed out in the sense of character-wise and backstory-wise. Especially Tapion and the Kapoi, the evil guy. Anyway.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, you're back.
Hello. Yes, there has to be some type of difficulties with Blog Talk Radio. We also had them yesterday, sadly, at our This Week in Comics show, which we will be re-uploading later on this week with some new audio at the end of it. It's very frightening to have your call dropped, but to hear yourselves talking and then having to hear Tristan say, "Oh, you're gone." So, yeah, we are very unsure. We have to assume it's Blog Talk Radio. I actually replaced my own phone because of previous issues. Therefore, it cannot be the phone connection, as I was unable to get into Blog Talk Radio again other than using a cell phone. Very, very, very upsetting and disheartening.
But anyway.
Yes. So please continue wherever the hell you were.
I was going to say, if there was anything else you wanted to add, if you heard me talking before, but...
Sadly, I heard nothing, so keep on going wherever the heck you were and finish your sentence, you beautiful, beautiful man, you.
Okay. I mean, I was basically just talking about how we liked the idea that the movie felt a little more fleshed out with the backstory for the characters who were just introduced.
Right.
And I feel like the whole like cult thing on Tapion's planet for it's a Hoi, right? The evil guy?
Yes, Hoi.
Oh, Hoi, right. Okay. I love the ideas that they put behind that because it felt so, like, old and mystical, like, video game kind of thing. And then I even said before, like, Tapion's character design is very reminiscent of Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yes, that most definitely.
Yeah. Have you ever played it actually, Matt, or?
I have not played it, but I've obviously heard a lot of good things, and I've seen a lot of, box art, and I've heard some of the music from it. I agree, yes, it is very reminiscent of Chrono Trigger.
So I don't know. I don't know if maybe they had that kind of idea about the evil on Tapion's planet, and then, the two heroes basically... Maybe not so much music, but actually throughout time. Because you got to imagine how long they've actually been asleep in those capsules as they've floated throughout the universe.
Right. Also, in case you don't know, did you know that Akira Toriyama worked on Chrono Trigger?
Yes, I mentioned that as well.
So, okay. Because I was going to bring up the fact that, and I'm sure as you noticed, the fact that he worked on Chrono Trigger, which was released March 11th, 1995. So he worked on Chrono Trigger, and of course he doesn't really write for the movies, but he can can do the art for them.
Right.
So it came out.
Yeah, I wonder if that had something to do with the style choice for Tapion.
I would assume so, because March, you look at March 2015 being the day that, that Chrono Trigger came out, right?
Right.
And then you look at in June being the day that, being the month rather, that Wrath of the Dragon came out. So you can see that there's, and again, both 1995. So you can definitely see that there's some kind of relation there.
Right. And I would...
Right.
Okay.
No, I was just saying, yeah, that is a thing. That is the thing. So, yeah. So,
yeah,
when I was... Oh, sorry, you go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, while I was away, did you mention Tapion's music at all?
Yeah, I started to go... I said that I liked the addition of the ocarina to his character in person. I just thought it was a nice addition. I don't know if that actually had any reference to anything else.
Well, you look at Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I don't know if that would. I mean, it is an ocarina, so it kind of points to, yes, it is a direct reference. But I mean, whether it really is or not, I couldn't say. But
right.
I thought it was a cool addition.
Oh, of course. And some of his track, which is very interesting, reminds me. It's very sad. It reminds me of a track in this movie, which it could have been sampled because the movie came a bit later, called Suicide Club or Suicide Circle in Japan. Which it's a very gory movie, but it has a very nice message to it.
Right.
Right. So I'm a big fan of at least the beginning of the track because it really felt like that. It really kind of gave you this really sad tone and feel to it, which is really the essence of Tapion's character. Yeah.
I mean, I think even Vidal mentioned something to that effect when he's first summoned, like released from the music box. Like, because Bulma says, "Oh, what a beautiful melody," and Vidal's like, "I don't know, it sounds kind of sad."
Yeah. But also, we flash forward, right? So that Tapion appeared, and Goten was talking to Trunks about how maybe you shouldn't feed him. Trunks wants to feed the guy because he looks at him like a big brother. Which wouldn't you want a big brother like Tapion?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but sadly the monster reappears because of this, and it's very interesting because we actually see the military, something that we rarely ever see.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like an old-esque monster movie.
Which I assume was the, tone they were trying to bring into it, at least for that, the themes they're trying to bring into it for that specific section, because, I mean, why not, right?
So let's have the Z-Fighters fight Godzilla and see where this goes.
Basically, I mean, it would make sense being, Godzilla's from Japan.
True. I want to
see that.
But
what's very nice, though, is that, we usually don't see the military. Right?
Yeah.
But when we did this time, as always, when we do see them, they lose.
They are getting
and run away
mercilessly.
Basically.
And I love I love the line. I don't know if it was in the Japanese, but like they say, "Hey, look, the Saiyaman operatives or agents are here."
Yes. Yes.
And they go, it's like, "Oh, good, let them deal with it."
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was great. It's just, you know what?
We're done coming here. From the military.
It's great.
Oh. I mean, I'm kind of glad we don't have this, like, Batman-esque thing going on. Like, the military's like, "Oh, the Saiyaman agents have arrived. Take them down!"
No, it's very nice that Videl, because they know that it's Videl in the Saiyaman costume. I assume.
Yeah.
Not sure about Gohan, obviously. I assume no. But they know that Vidal's in it, and they probably just assume, that it could be some kind of technology that allows her to fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact, because Vidal's, technically a vigilante in that case, isn't she? She's outside of the law, but she's fighting crime.
Well, but remember that in the show, they did have her report on her communicator, as they did in this movie. So, in theory, while she is a vigilante, it's kind of a nod back, if you look at it, to like the 60s Batman series. Which, have you seen the 60s Batman?
I think I may have, or I've... Yeah.
Well, it's fine if you didn't. What matters is that, in the beginning of every single episode, you actually have Commissioner Gordon with Chief O'Hara, his, the chief of police, always calling Batman in the beginning using, like, the red phone hotline thing.
Yeah.
So it would show, it's like, and it's great because, you would have, Gordon just say things like, like, it would be like, oh, Chief O'Hara would be like, "Oh, no, the Riddler's on the loose." Be like, "Damned that, criminal of crime," something very just, we must call upon Batman. Even though he doesn't work inside the law, sometimes you need to go outside of it to find something as, to destroy someone as dastardly as the Riddler.
Right, yeah.
And then they just call Batman, as if it's just fine.
I'd love it if they got to the point where it's just like Gordon, like, flips out his cell phone, like, "Yo, Bats, what's going on? Yeah, we got some trouble down here. Joker's, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's spraying some kind of gas and shit's going down. Can you get your ass down here and help us out? I mean, I see the Batmobile already. All right, see you soon."
It'd be really funny if it was just like he picks up the red phone, but he forgets. He's like, "Hey, Bruce. Oh, I'm so sorry." All of a sudden, before he says, "I'm so sorry," it goes, "Hello, Commissioner."
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne? That was a joke, Commissioner. I'm actually Batman. I've always been
Batman. Huh, but
well,
why?
I mean, a very funny joke, Batman.
Yeah.
just takes it completely to heart. Just be like, seriously, just like, yeah, that was a funny joke, Batman. Good job.
Right.
Yeah. Did you notice? Speaking back into the actual movie, did you notice the symbolism, like when the toy broke in half and Tapion just stared at it?
Oh God, yeah.
That was really
I love
nice.
the little subtleties they put. Like, I feel like they put a lot of effort into this movie.
I do too. Also, something I don't know if we talked about on this show before, or even in person. Did you know Doctor Who was dubbed into Japanese while it was airing, like in the 70s and 80s?
Oh, wow. No, I did not know that.
I bring that up because of the fact that we have Little Hoy, and we just have, Tapion saying things like, he hates all others that, this cult, they hate all others that aren't themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to destroy everyone else who is different across the galaxy. Exterminate!
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I would like to mention, if you refer to them as a cult, right, it's very interesting because in Doctor Who with the Daleks, there is the cult of Skaro.
Skaro, yep.
So it's very interesting to kind of tie that all.
The possibility could be there, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go back on YouTube right now, and I would suggest everyone does, and find Tom Baker, which is the Fourth Doctor, and you can hear him being dubbed in Japanese for the public.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
That would be
even newer Doctor Who got dubbed. Like, there's very expensive DVDs out because, Japan, very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But you can get Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant dubbed into Japanese.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, and it's really funny because one of the there's one of the voice actors you obviously know Ikaku from Bleach.
Yes.
Yes, his voice actor, who is the same voice actor as the main character in G Gundam, who is the same voice actor as a hero in Kamen Rider. More of the hot-headed heroes, right? This same voice actor did David Tennant.
I knew you were going to say that.
you just saw it coming. You were like, yeah. It's very interesting how it's just, you sit there and you have to sit, see him say things. And there's a clip online, which you can also find, where he just sits there and, they're talking in Japanese. And it's the scene where he first regenerated. So he's holding on to Mickey and he says, Merry Christmas.
Oh.
And then
that's actually, I feel like that's really fitting. That they got that actor to voice him, to dub over him.
Pretty much, yeah.
I feel like that fits really well.
It did, for me at least. But,
yeah.
So sadly, we're getting to the end of our show. So before we have to wrap everything up, let's talk about the cool fight at the end. It was a cool fight at the end. Good night, everybody.
Now, I feel like they focused mainly on, the Saiyan families. I mean, Videl was in it a little bit, but I feel she's more of the kind of the narrative role. Like, she's the last one to kind of fall over after getting, hit down hard. Like, no, you can't let it end like this. And then she'll fall over, and then, you zoom out and see, everybody else on the ground. Like, oh, and then, you'll see Goku get up and be like, okay, I got this, guys. I got it.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I see it too. I understand. It's very, yeah. It was, because again, that's what they've been doing with, most of the later films. It's just been, like you mentioned, the Saiyan family, how they can do what they can do, and everyone else can just go suck it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know that Piccolo made an appearance.
He did not, as far as I remember, which is actually kind of sad for Piccolo.
Yeah, I know. You'd think at least, Piccolo would, but, I mean, then again, he didn't appear in, Broly either. But I mean, he did in BoJack.
Well, he did appear in this. Well, yeah, he appeared in obviously the first Broly movie. Not appeared in the second one because they did a Krillin Punk out, which was funny.
Yeah.
He didn't appear in the third one. He was not really big in Fusion Reborn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that at least made sense because they were, fighting hell, so.
Right.
Or, I mean, he could have been helping out Gohan and they just didn't, I don't know. Maybe he's just sitting up on the lookout like, they fucking got this.
Basically, I mean, I assume now he realizes his own potential, where it's just, what can you do against a villain like this other than die? And then God is dead.
Other than die. And they lose the Dragon Balls, and then they're going to be royally pissed at me.
Well, haven't the Dragon Ball situation been turned over to Dende, or is it still on Piccolo?
Oh, no, you're right. Probably by this point is Dende.
Right, but it's still a bitch to lose a god, because in theory, even though Dende is a god, Piccolo does have, has fused with Kami, so yeah.
Although
but,
I would like to bring up one point of kind of a theme that they visited in this movie specifically. At least I feel like they haven't really done something like this in any of the other movies, where Tapion is truly a hero. He's his self-sacrifice for everyone on his planet and basically everyone in the universe to keep Hirudegarn sealed away. When he looks up to everybody of the Z Fighters and he says, "I can't hold it back much longer. You have to stop this. Kill me."
Right.
That is something that I know the Z Fighters could not do. Collectively. I mean, maybe if you had, like, Vegeta there by himself, he might be like, well, yeah, you're right. But with everybody standing right there... It's just Vegeta, like, guess we gotta kill him. Tapion's like, I didn't mention that you had to yet. Oh, might as well. I mean, with all of them standing there looking at him like, no, we can't do that. We don't do that. Especially Trunks, by the way, which is, let's find the littlest one and get him to kill me. Yeah. Let's get the one I've created probably the closest bond with out of all of you and have him kill me. Yeah, because he realized, he's like, if I get the littlest one, meaning Goten, he would probably think of it as a game. God damn it. Like, Goten be like, all right, I kill you first and then you kill me next. Oh, God. That's not, you know what, sure, you kill me first. Yeah. And that's another thing, like, kind of a darker sense of this movie. Like, his Tapion's little brother actually had the lower half of Hirudegarn sealed within himself. And when he's giving his monologue to, Bulma, she goes, so what happened to your little brother? He's like, I don't know, probably dead. It's like, well, don't have any faith in him or anything, holy shit. But, I mean, to bring up the point, his, Hirudegarn's lower half is, rampaging around, so obviously he's not sealed away, so technically he's kind of right. I know, but I understand how you feel, though. It's still kind of like, come on, man, come on. Yeah, it was just like, oh, shit. Yeah, but speaking of the darker tones, I do feel as if, and I'm not saying that, the movies have never been not dark, because of course, this is Japan, so when they make entertainment for children, they will add in some things here and there because, hey, whatever. I guess maybe they know that some older fans are watching or, things like that, or they just don't want to, dumb it down for kids, right? Yeah. But I'll say this much. This was the final DBZ movie in their eyes. Yeah. I'm sure they wanted to go out with a bang. So I'm sure that in making this movie, they didn't really want to cut that many costs. If they thought, all right, this is going to be our final one, then if you're going to put a story in a bit like that, I mean, what are they going to say? No, the fans that were young while reading Dragon Ball or watching Dragon Ball have now grown up, at least for 5 years or so. So,
So I assume that's why they may have said, you know what, we're going to do a little bit of this to kind of, end it off with a bang. Because it really was a nice ending and kind of made you hope for the future. Because when you look at, the fact that Trunks got the sword, which is a bit confusing when they tried to tie it with future Trunks. But still, Trunks getting the sword is kind of like a way of saying, you know what, the future is safe with these kids.
Yeah. And I feel like that was supposed to be like a big theme of the Boo saga, too, which was still there, but not as, like, I don't know, not as hard-hitting as it probably was in the end of this. Like, it feels like Tapion is, like, it feels like there's a handing of the mantle down to the younger generation in this.
Yes. I feel like there was a bit of a ball dropping, of a ball dropping in the show when it came to that. It was there, it was there, it was in the air, Gohan almost had it, and then they were just like, actually, Gohan, don't catch it.
Yeah. We'll just we skip a generation.
Basically, we'll get to that more when we actually do the seasons from the original uncut box set, which can happen. When will it happen? Not sure, but it's happening.
Yeah. And I honestly, looking back now, I do love the way that Goku finishes him off. I mean, Dragon Fist is just a fucking amazing attack.
Of course. And it's obviously a nod to, the original series when he defeated Piccolo with the Dragon Fist.
Yeah.
Which is always nice.
Yeah. And just that shot of, him standing triumphantly in the light in Super Saiyan 3, that, oh God, if I had a capture of that for, like, a wall poster, I would hang that shit in a frame.
Definitely. Also, before we go, speaking of two things, which are pretty cool, you looked at Vegeta, right, and you see his growth, where he tried to save people that he, at one point in the series would have murdered.
Yep.
It's really nice to see that change.
Yeah, that I made a note of that piece too. Yeah, that was cool.
And something that's funny, and we have to end it on this. How cool was it when Gotenks got punched into two people?
Yes. Yeah. I wanted you to bring that one up because that was your point, but yeah, that was cool. Even when I saw that as a kid, I was like, oh shit, he punched him into two people.
That's how much did that hurt, Gotenks? Well, I'll tell you when there's two of us.
Yeah.
We'll tell you.
So I would have to ask, since this is the last movie and just we've done it with most of the other movies, what, in your opinion, Matt, what would you rate this?
That's hard. I want to say 9 because, I mean, it's weird, either 9 or 9.5 because and it's funny that I don't want to give it better rating than some of the other stuff because it's like, damn it, I saw them when I was, I liked them still. They didn't really change and get worse from when I was a kid. But it's just, it really, I don't know, something about this upon reflection, because for these movies, we saw them when we were teens, so I think we really needed some time to reflect, where when we saw certain movies as kids, we immediately loved them, and then we had to judge them based on what we loved, which, they can get a bit harder to do that. But with these other movies, in a way, because we were older, we were like, yeah, it's a shit.
Yeah.
And now we come back and we realize, oh, they're actually pretty damn good.
Yeah. Like, I would agree. I would probably give this a 9.5, like, upon looking at it again as I'm older, because they really just went fucking balls out for this last movie. Like, comparatively to all the other movies. Yes, there you go, Matt. I gave you the joke. I really felt like they put the effort in on this last one to make it
I agree.
Just great all around.
Most definitely. So, sadly, we're done. We're very sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'm also upset as well. If you think you're upset, I had to get back in when phones and everything else was telling me, no, you don't want to get back into your show. You can stay out.
Yeah.
So,
I could just imagine Matt. He would be literally fuming as, he get disconnected, like, son of a...
Like, if you were in an office building, the sprinklers would have gone off. Because it would be like, oh, there's a fire. Yeah, there's a freaking fire. So anyway, I would like to thank you guys for listening to those guys. Keep on listening. Next week, we don't know what we'll be doing. We'll be honest. We don't know what Dragon Ball Z show we'll be doing, if it will even be a Dragon Ball Z show with Tristan Walter. But how will you know what we're doing? Well, we will always update you on our Facebook page, Those Guys on the Radio. We will always update you via our Twitter, Those Guys Radio. We will always, you can always talk to us, and you can always, tell us maybe, what show ideas you want to do. You want us to do any feedback. You want us to, promote your product or your company, legal product, legal companies, on our show via our Gmail, thoseguysontheradio@gmail.com. And understand that, again, this is very new to us. Tristan and I just finished the first 13 movies and the 14th movie. So it's very interesting to see where we're going after this, because there was a point where we thought, we'll never make it there.
Yeah, I thought for a second that Matt might be getting rid of me after we did all the movies.
Oh, right.
But you're not, right? Matt?
Good night, everyone.
Matt? Why aren't you answering me, Matt? Matt?
I think you all should have a great day.